morning. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Well, welcome and thank you for joining us today to meet our featured HR Executive of the Month. I'm Nathaniel Schiffer, Managing Partner with the Christopher Group. The Christopher Group TCG, founded in 1998 by Tom and Paula Christopher, has become one of the nation's largest and most respected HR executive search boutiques in the U.S. I'm honored today to introduce Jeff Bettinger, VP and Global Head of Talent Management and Organizational Development at Alcon, a division of Novartis. Alcon is a $6 billion plus global medical company specializing in eye and vision care with 18,000 plus employees headquartered in Fort Worth, Texas. We've been privileged to work with Jeff for almost a decade, and as his career has progressed with companies such as USAA, Petco, and now Alcon, of course. During this time, Jeff has led functions encompassing talent management, leadership development, organizational development, and talent acquisition. Jeff has been recognized throughout his career by SHRM, AIRS, and HRO Today for his exceptional work. HRO Today recently recognized Jeff as the 2018 Talent Acquisition Leader of the Year for large market for-profit companies. Congratulations on the continued success, and thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Jeff, take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about your success story. How did you get to where you are today? Perhaps kind of walk us through your background, especially highlighting your current role with Alcon.
It's been a fun journey, a challenging journey, working for some really incredible organizations that I appreciate the help that you've given me in my career as well, personally, and the way that you've continued to help coach me and mentor me through my professional development. You know, the career started with an awful lot of education, and then a few years as a school teacher and working in a private educational system where I really learned some of the soup and nuts about how to facilitate, how to do some, a little bit of org design, but a lot of work in, instructional design and facilitation. And from there, the career has just gone like wildfire and had an opportunity to work in succession planning and leadership development, talent acquisition, high potential development, kind of touching all areas of talent. And what that's done for me is created this profile of being an integrated talent management executive. And it's allowed me to have a real understanding of maybe what happens in talent acquisition and how that really goes through the employee life cycle of finding, acquiring, onboarding, and then developing those talents, accelerating development, and then helping them move into leadership and then lead at some of the most senior levels in companies. And that process of being able to understand kind of the soup to nuts beginning and end of how a career really morphs and happens has allowed me to integrate talent strategies. So for instance, in OD, we do a lot of work on culture, but your employment value proposition and what you're doing to attract talent is very much tied to culture and could be used as a way to help your organization find the right talent, develop the right talent in the right ways, as you bring them into the organization and onboard them, and I guess dip them kind of into the Kool-Aid of the organization and help them to really, see what it is that is the opportunity and why it is that they ought to join your organization. So it's been a great career so far. I mean, still many more years to go, and excited about, what the opportunities bring.
Absolutely. It certainly had its highlights. I still tell the story about the talent acquisition war room, ESPN-like draft room that you all built at USAA. And gosh, I love the piece that you wrote about Willy Wonka and succession planning. So there's certainly been some highlights. Well done. I think one of the unique parts of your experience is the fact that you've led both talent acquisition and talent management simultaneously. And a lot of times I get the question, hey, is this the trend, or is this is this not the trend? Where is the function heading? In your mind, what opportunities does this create leading both, and what challenges does it create, having the ability to really own it from cradle to grave, if you will?
Yeah, it offers its own set of opportunities, its own set of challenges, absolutely. I would say that probably on the opportunity side, what it allows me to do is help some of our executives really tie into what it is that they're doing from an external presence on how they help us in our talent attraction. linking our social media strategy and what we're doing there to tell the story outside of the organization is directly linked to the support we provide leaders inside the organization and the experiences that they're having within the organization. I think it's a trend right now. I do think that we're seeing more and more organizations wanting to see some sort of a unification or an integration of what's happening both in acquisition and the development side. In organizations where they treat those as siloed functions, I often see that the strategies don't match up. We want, for instance, here at Alcon, people to have an absolutely incredible experience with their employment here. We want them to come on and help to become part of our purpose of helping people to see better all over the world. I mean, at Alcon, 250 million to 300 million people a year have the benefit of using our products, and because of those products, being able to see better. And it impacts those 250 million people, but because sight is so precious, it also impacts their families. And so we have this impact that ripples throughout their families. And when we sometimes, at some organizations, you might see them treat talent acquisition, for instance, in a different silo, where they treat it as more of a transactional kind of a thing. But it's my belief that we're trying to make people make life decisions about changing companies or moving careers. It's much more than just a transaction. There's a real relational thing that happens in that space. And so it ties directly to the employment experience, the culture, and the leadership that you in an organization are projecting out into the marketplace as your brand, as well as what you're doing inside the company to help people feel that overall cultural experience. And so because those two things are linked, having these functions united under one leader helps me to leverage what we could be doing potentially in a leadership development program to tie it to what we're doing in an onboarding program, so that as a person comes in, the consistent messaging and experience that they're having are creating that stickiness for the employee that wants them to stay. I mean, here in this position here at Alcon, we've actually been able to see a pretty significant reduction in our voluntary turnover, simply because we've helped people connect their hearts to the company. And by so doing, that through both our acquisition and our internal culture and leadership development, it's causing our talent to want to stay longer, even though the employment marketplace is its most competitive levels that it's ever been. So I just see a marriage of those two things, and it really has helped me to create strategies that really serve us throughout the life cycle.
Well said. Well said. Jeff, tell me about one of the programs, projects, or initiatives at Alcon that you're most proud of. What made it special, and maybe tell us a little bit about how it's impacting the business in a real sustainable way that's making a difference.
Yeah, the one that I've been most excited about most recently, and one that we have just been able to make a significant impact, is last July we launched an all-associate culture transformation here at Alcon, and our CEO kicked it off. And then over the next about 7.5, 8 months, 17,000, 18,000 associates went through a 4-hour program where they got to really learn and experience what it was that we wanted in our ideal culture. It helped us to celebrate the 70 years of success that this company has had, but it also gave us the opportunity to look forward into the future at what kind of dreams and aspirations we have as a company, and what it is that we want for our culture to say to the world as well as to our internal associates. So I referenced earlier the massive decrease we've seen, for instance, in voluntary turnover, but we've also seen our employment brand on Glassdoor. We've seen, in the Dow Jones Sustainability Index. All of these areas are telling us that the employment brand is increasing, internal engagement, and in fact, beyond it, engagement is the value of inspiration. That people are truly being inspired by what it is they're doing here at Alcon. And that program that we ran now has tentacles that reach into how we onboard and how we assess. We're now just gone through the process of bringing in a pretty significant, several $100 million product portfolio from our parent company, Novartis. And as we've been doing that and bringing all of these associates back in, just the change process that we've gone through, the work that we've been doing to to bring all these new associates into Alcon is completely also tied to that culture work. And so, there's a real cultural transformation underway. Our division president, our CEO of Alcon, Michael Ball, is just a fantastic leader and one that helps us to continue to build our brand internally and externally and our credibility with our internal and external potential associates. And I mean, just the other day, we were walking with a longtime 20-year person here at Alcon, and we said, hey, I asked, how is it going here? What's your opinion? What's the mood? What do you feel? And he said, never in the 20 years that I've been here have I been more excited about what we're doing and what's to come. And that's the feeling that we've been able to perpetuate, and it's being felt all the way from our university relations program. On Monday, we have 150 some interns that are starting, all of them wanting this opportunity to come in and make a difference. This last year, we were able to convert about 40% of our interns into full-time employees. And so, having those people come in through this cultural transformation and then want to join us beyond the moment when they have the moment to test drive us as an intern, incredible experience, really proud of that work, really grateful for just the best team I've ever worked with, and proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
Jeff, we've worked together for many years, and I'd love to get your perspective to kind of share with our audience, when selecting an HR search partner or vendor as compared to other leading boutiques, why do you choose TCG? What's made the difference for you?
Well, I mean, you're my go-to firm for HR. Anytime I got a tough search that's coming up, a difficult to fill position, maybe a manager that needs a little bit of extra attention, I just know that the place to go is the Christopher Group. The quality of candidates that you bring on a first slate makes it so that very rarely do we have to go beyond a first slate of candidates. And for us, that actually ends up helping our business put money in its pocket. It pays for the search fee easily, because it allows for us to put people into the field quicker, support the business faster, allows them to have these incredible candidates. I mean, I've used you as a search firm now at 3 different companies over the last about 10 years. And you're so responsive as an organization. I just appreciate the partnership that we've had, that we continue to have, the work that you are doing now for us, and the work that you'll continue to do as you bring us some of this top tier talent that's really helping us to solve business challenges in the organizations that I've been with. So thank you to Christopher Group, first of all, but secondly, for anybody considering using the Christopher Group for a search, you're looking at a great firm with a process that really, really helps to get you culled down to the right candidates at the right time. In the most, I would say, thoughtful and thorough way that I've seen from a search firm in this boutique space.
Thank you. Jeff, on behalf of everyone at the Christopher Group, in particular myself, Tom and Paula Christopher, we'd like to congratulate you on your 2018 Talent Acquisition Leader of the Year Award and all of the success that you've enjoyed over the years. We really appreciate your partnership as well, and we wish you the best in your continued journey at Alcon.
Okay, thanks very much, Nat. I hope you have a really good day.
Absolutely. You do the same. Take care now, sir.
Thanks. All right, bye-bye.